Hi guys, Mike back again with a 7,000 point 30k Death Guard Legion showcase. So I've been meaning to do this for quite a long time, and it turned out that I had most of the miniatures out of the cabinets over this weekend that this video is being filmed, because I went to play a huge 16,000 point game with four of us playing and we were in teams of two, and it was loyalists versus traitors, yeah, we took 4,000 points each. So I took 4,000 points of my 7,000 points, and a great game was had. So I mean, yeah, so I took my 30k Death Guard. Callum from Tabletop Banter took his Word Bearers, 4,000 points of, and then we faced off against Kablams over at Kablams, and I'll put links to channels below. And he took, I think, about 3,000 points of Iron Hands. And we had Harry, who is also from Tabletop Banter, who took the kind of remainder, sort of 5,000 odd points of his homebrew militia, which was brilliant. Seeing 16,000 points on the table is absolutely immense. The game, we got to the end of turn 4. We were looking at starting turn 5, and we'd all just we were all worn out, to be fair. It was we were playing for hours and hours and hours. We were playing, how long for? Must have been for about 7 hours, and the traitors were victorious, I'm pleased to say. That's actually my first ever win, which is really, really cool. Although Callum, to be fair, did virtually all of the work. But yeah, no, I feel like I contributed a little bit, and the Death Guard performed very, very well, and held objectives, and had some really, really nice moments, which I'll talk about when I go through each squad. So yes, this is it. This is what it looks like. I've been collecting now the 30k Death Guard since January 2017. And like I say, this is the fruits of my labour. This is, 7,000 points, or 6,914 points to be precise, of 30k Death Guard. And and I've still got more to go, still got some more things to paint. But I wanted to kind of crack them all out of the cabinets just to see it. Seeing as more than half of it was already out, I thought I'll lay them all out and show you what I've done. So yeah, okay, right, so we'll start sort of going through it, I suppose. The first thing to note, really, is that Death Guard, the glorious 14th Legion, is led by Mortarion, Primarch Mortarion, and he's got an affinity, a fascination, a compulsion with the number 7, with numbers that are divisible by 7. So in the 30k Death Guard Legion, there are only 7 companies. With the 7th company being the Great Company, the Battle Company. And so all of my squads, in that vein, in that thought, are all divisible by 7. So you'll note. So I'll go through all the squads individually, but at the back, on the back row here, they're all ranked in columns of 7. So we've got all of our heavy support back here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squads of heavy support. And then I've got a recon squad on the far column there. But so yeah, they're all ranked in squads of 7. So which is I really enjoy that element of the fluff. I really like that they're in squads of 7. So I've got 7-man squads. My tactical squads, these 2 squads here, are in squads of 14, and then everything else is in squads of 7. So so I've predominantly used the Burning of Prospero and Betrayal at Calth box sets for the plastic basis of the Marines, and then bought Forge World upgrade parts for heavy support choices, for support squad weapon options, and all other bits and bobs too. So that's the ethos of the army, and it's a bit of a pain to write lists because you can't get those round numbers. You can't get it all added up nicely when you're doing squads of 7. So there we go. Right, I'm going to kind of reposition the camera and kind of go through each squad and tell you what it's all about and talk a little bit about yesterday's game. So I'll just reposition the camera and I'll catch you in a sec. Okay, so here's a sweep of the army itself. You see that there's quite a lot of bodies. So we've got a mix there of heavy support. There's a recon squad, a support squads, tactical squads, veteran tactical squads, a destroyer squad, Grave Wardens, Death Shroud, Cataphracti Terminator squad. We've got some HQs and elites over there, some walkers, and then vehicles around the back. So we'll get in to the back here. So from an infantry perspective, like I said, I used the models from Prospero and Calth, and just from a Mark III and Mark IV perspective, there's 105 models there. So that's a fairly hefty mix. I bought 2 boxes of Prospero and 2 boxes of Calth over time, over the last sort of 18 months or so, and have utilised the parts from those as the kind of basis of my Death Guard army, and then, like I said, upgraded it with Forge World components. So coming into the back here, we have got heavy support squads. So we have got heavy flamers from left to right, yeah. Heavy flamers, missile launchers, las cannons, missile launchers, and auto cannons. So they are those. So like I say, 7-man squads with a mix of Mark III and Mark IV. Nothing special about them necessarily, just that they have got Forge World upgrade weaponry. So it's the Legion auto cannons, Legion las cannons, Legion heavy flamers, and you'll notice in the missile launcher squads where we've got Mark IV Marines, I'm using the missile launchers, the shoulder mounted missile launchers from the box sets, and then like chappy over here, he's got an underslung missile launcher from Forge World, which I really like the underslung ones. So that's it, 5 squads of heavy support, and then we move along. This was just a little bit of a fun squad. This is a 7-man bareheaded, and again, bareheaded is not something I'm going for in this force. But I thought for this squad it was just a laugh, really. I had 7 lots of legs left over, or 7 bodies and legs, and thought, what am I going to do? And I thought, I'm going to do this. So I did. So it is a 7-man recon squad, all loaded out with shotguns. And again, obviously not the most effective, but fun nonetheless. I view these, and myself and Callum have spoken about this quite a bit. You know, it's kind of like, we quite like the old 80s, late 80s, early 90s action films. You know, your likes of Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone, and, you know, all of your action heroes of that era. And we kind of viewed this squad as a like, you know, them jumping out of a Land Raider or something, you know, or jumping out of a, you know, Anvilist Dreadclaw and assaulting from that with their shotguns, just like, you know, Death and Glory and all that, you know, and getting mown down effectively. The sergeant there has got a scythe, power scythe. A little thing with the Death Guard 30k Legion is that any character or independent character who can take a power fist can take a scythe instead for same points. So I load out my sergeants because it's fluffy, because it's Death Guard, because Death Guards have scythes. A lot of the sergeants have scythes. So, yep. So I've done that. So that's cool. And the scythes have come from Forge World, you know, so that you can get a scythe upgrade pack. So that's that. We'll move back here then. And we've got our support squads. I can show you the paint jobs a little bit better on the front, guys. They're all decaled up. I've got Death Guard iconography on the left hand shoulder pad, and then squad markings on the right hand shoulder pad. So yeah, all chipped and weathered. I mean, I've gone for again, the fluff on this army is that they have they've turned from the Emperor. They are traitorous, but they haven't gone full Nurgle. And again, we all know you never go full Nurgle and all of that. So yeah, they are traitorous. They are tainted by chaos, but they haven't started sprouting horns and tentacles and pustulant sores and oozing pussy weeping wounds. So they're not there yet. So, but their armor, in kind of line with this, is rusted and weathered They don't care. But as a contrast to that effect, I've painted all the weapons up as I normally would actually. Cohesiveness throughout the squad. All of the weapons have got black casings, or very dark grey casings. All of the weapons are painted up. Yeah, as I normally would, really, kind of weathered. They look all right. You know, from a not a really battered and weathered perspective. But the armor and the bodies and the effect I wanted to go for on the Marines themselves is rusty and weathered and chipped. So that's the effect there. So we've got 3 support squads, left to right. Rotor cannons, because why not? Because they're cool. Because again, harks back to late 80s and early 90s films. And anyone who's seen the film Predator will know Blaine's minigun is one of the greatest things in cinema history. So when there's an option to put rotor cannons on something, why wouldn't you do it? And again, you don't see them because they're not very good. It's like my shotguns, they're not very good, but they're cool. So absolutely, a squad of rotor cannons is a must. Then we've got a squad of flamers. Sorry, going off focus there. A squad of flamers, which have done absolutely nothing for me in my games of Heresy. I need to get them in a vehicle. I need to get them up the field. They need to jump out and flame. But yeah, they get shot down before they get anywhere. This is quite a foot sloggy army, as you would see. I mean, I have got some capacity for transportation, but I've been playing quite low point games and not been able to take any transports. So, but until yesterday, and the transports worked out quite well. Then last support squad, squad of melter guns. Again, yeah, well, it seems to be an obvious choice to me. Yesterday, again in the game, a squad of melter guns in my Proteus Land Raider. And they, they did okay. They didn't do, had some unlucky rolls, but the opportunities there for them to do quite well. Then we move across. We've got 2 14-man tactical squads. So these are my go-to. These are my troop choices. Basically, I've got to take the 2 troop choices. I need 2 troop choices, and tacticals is where it is at. They're both loaded out exactly the same, apart from. Or basically bolters, isn't it? Bolters. The sergeant in this squad has got combi flamer. Sergeant in this squad has got a combi melter. Sorry, this squad's combi melter. This squad's combi flamer. And one squad has got close combat weapons and one hasn't. And they're modelled on there. And in hindsight, I probably would have put close combat weapons on the other squad too. And I might do that one day, but that's the way they sit today. Then moving along, we've got veteran tactical squad. Weapon masters, these ones are. So these are my close combat guys. These give +1 weapon skill, which is nice. So these are a real mix. I painted these needed to look different because they are veteran tacticals, and I wanted to sort of come away from the instance where you just use your regular tactical kind of Marines and then model them as veteran tacticals. So I wanted the veteran tacticals to be obviously different, which they are, and I painted their helmets black as well. Use the Forge World upgrade torsos, Forge World upgrade heads for these, and Forge World upgrade Mark III shoulder pads. This squad is all Mark III. So at the back there we've got Power Axe and Bolter, then Combi Melter Power Sword, Combi Melter Power Sword, Double Lightning Claws, Combi Melter Power Sword, Combi Melter Power Sword, and Sergeant at the front with the scythe. So and bolter obviously, but so that's my veteran tacticals. And then we've got a destroyer squad. So yeah, this is the Forge World destroyer squad. So double pistols all the way. Got the grenade launcher there, and then at the front we've got the sergeant with the scythe. So yeah, so that's all of my kind of Mark III, Mark IV infantry. It's quite a lot there, but I've really enjoyed painting them up. So then we move to Legion specific units. Grave Wardens, 7-man squad, armed with grenade launchers. I've got a heavy flamer in there, and the sergeant's got a combi grenade launcher. They've all got chain fists, and they are cool. Again, yesterday in the game, did absolutely nothing. I deployed them too far back. They weren't in a vehicle, and they move very slow. They can't run, and they didn't do what they didn't do anything. They secured an objective. Woohoo! So there we go. So that was a bit of a waste. Then we got the Death Shroud, which is Mortarian's bodyguard basically. So I had these in a squad with Callous Typhon yesterday, and they did very well actually. Took out quite a bit. Actually took out a Malcador, super heavy. I mean, it was down to 2 hull points, having taken fire throughout the game, but they did finish it off, so that was pretty cool. So that's them. They've got hand flamers and the scythes as well. And then we've got the 5-man squad of Cataphracti. I have got another squad of Cataphracti, and I'm going to bump this squad up to 7. So I'll have 3 Cataphracti left over, but that's fine. But I want to bump them up to 7 just so I've got unit cohesiveness, and that all of my squads are 7 or 14 in the case of the tacticals. So we'll go to the back. We'll go to the vehicles. So we've got Legion Spartan. So yeah, heavily weathered this one. Again, I mean, I didn't actually mean to go this heavy on it, to be honest. I've shown you this before, but obviously got the twin quad las cannons, heavy bolts up the front, which move. That's by the by, really. So yeah, pleased with that. Yesterday in the game, again, I put Callous Typhon and the Death Shroud in there, and that seemed to work quite well. So yep, so we got the Spartan. I'm actually thinking about getting another Spartan to put the Grave Wardens in, so we'll see how that transpires. Then we got the Proteus Land Raider. I had the Melter Gun squad in this yesterday, and again that seemed to work out reasonably well. And again, with the twin las cannons, it's has got a bit of punch in it itself. So that's cool. That's another nice addition to the army, and I really like the Proteus. This is the armoured version from Forge World. You can get a non-armoured version which doesn't have these bits on the side. It's just flat. But I like the Proteus there. Moving on, we've got the Medusa. Again, yesterday didn't do very much. The range on the cannon is 36 inches, so it's it took a couple of turns to get into range of stuff. But then, it did reasonably well. But again, quite heavily weathered on this one. I'd like to get another one of these. And we've got the crew in the back, loading up the bombs. But I like the Medusa. It's quite a compact little tank. So there we go. Then we've got the Predator. Predator didn't come with me yesterday. But I want to get a squadron of Predators. So this is the las cannon version with the battle cannon. I'd like to get maybe get some Infernus ones. So that's the Predator. Then we got the Damocles Command Rhino, which actually did quite well. It hindered our opponents yesterday for bringing in reserves, so that was good. It's a one-use orbital bombardment, didn't do much, unfortunately. Then we got the Anvilus, which is a sweet model. I really like that model. So we put the Veteran Tacticals in there and just sort of dropped them in front of Malcadors and stuff yesterday, sort of a blocking thing. And it obviously blew up and died, but that's okay. So that was cool. Then we'll move to the front there. We've got a couple of Leviathans. So we've got Storm Cannon and Snippy Claws, and the Melter Lance and Siege Drill. Both have got the Phosphex discharges. So yeah, Leviathan took this one yesterday. Storm Cannon, Snippy Claws. He was still alive at the end of the game and did reasonably well. Then we got the 2 Contemptors, Cortus and Mortis. So we've got the Mortis with double carries and the Cortus with double close combat. So we've got 1 Power Fist and 1 Chain Fist, both with the the Cortus got the Havoc launchers. And then we've got the Quad Mortar. Again, this did really well. Sat at the back, or sat in a building, and just sort of pumped away, basically. It did quite well yesterday. And again, it wasn't targeted, still alive at the end. I'd like to get another one of these too. Then we've got 3 Apothecaries, which I tend to send in with my 2 tactical squads and my veteran tactical squad. So, you know, the feel no pain is invaluable and saves my skin on more than one occasion. So 3 apothecaries there. Then we've got Tech Marine. And then we come down to here. This guy here is my Siege Master, or Durok Rask. So it's my siege breaker. Sorry, my siege breaker console. Then I've got Moritat, which is the Forge World model. So double plasmas. He's a lovely model, really really nice. Did some glowy on the jump pack. Did the hazard striping on the cabling, but really really pleased with him. He looks cool. And then we've got my Librarian console, which is one of the Forge World limited edition models. You know, you get it at Forge World. He comes with a cape. My army, again, is not fancy, doesn't have plumes, doesn't have crests, doesn't have capes. Mortarian's got a cape, but he's a Primarch, he's allowed. But everyone else, no. And bare heads as well is something I'm not really doing. In hindsight, I probably would have given him a helmet, but, you know, there we go. Again, it's a Forge World event, special edition model, limited edition model, whatever. So that's the way he comes. So bare heads, so yeah, my Librarian console there. And that's that. And then last but not least, Callus Typhon. Callus Typhon himself, captain of the first and the left hand of Mortarion. Not sure why he's the left hand, not the right hand, but there we go. Maybe because Mortarion has his scythe in his right hand. Maybe that's it. I'm not sure on the rationale behind that, but he is described as the left hand of Mortarion rather than the right. But there we go. But yeah, it must be the scythe. It must be the scythe, mustn't it? Yeah, Mortarion's got his scythe in his right hand, so Callus Typhon is his left hand. But anyway, so yeah, scythe and hand flamer. He's on his display base, as you'll see at them as right now. Callus Typhon did beautifully yesterday. He is a level 1 psyker, and just move the camera in. Whoops. Right, sorry about that. He is a level 1 psyker, and can only take powers from the telepathy discipline, and only when Mortarion is not around. He does psyker stuff in secret when Dad's not around. But it took him yesterday, and the Primaris power for the telepathy is the Psychic Shriek, which it was immense. I mean, I think Callus Typhon yesterday was my MVP. He survived till the end. He three psychic phases. We did. I put out Psychic Shriek, and he took out in 2 of those psychic phases. He took out a whole squad of Marines with the Psychic Shriek, and then he took out a load of Grenadiers. The remainder of some Grenadiers with Psychic Shriek too. So that was amazing. So that was really really cool. So yeah, had a really good game yesterday. Like I say, the traitors were victorious, but you know, but you know, it was touch and go, and there were some moments there that you know, we thought we were done for. But yeah, it was a really really good game, really enjoyable, and this is my Death Guard force. So this is all 6,914 points of 30k Death Guard. I've probably got enough to paint up, getting on for 10,000 points. So still to go. I've got. I want to do a 14-man siege breaker, a breacher squad. Sorry, a 14-man breacher squad, which I've got. I want to do another 7-man Terminator squad, but modelled with the Chaos Terminators and the Nurgle Terminator upgrades from Forge World, which will be Grolgor, Ignatius Grolgor, who is captain of the 2nd company, who turns to Chaos big time in the stories. So it's going to be a real kind of Nurgly looking Terminator squad. So whereas I said, you know, we've gone full traitor, but we haven't gone full Nurgle, this one squad will have gone, well, not full Nurgle, but it's the Terminator, it's the Nurgle Terminator upgrade bits, torso, heads, shoulder pads from Forge World. So they're a little bit horned and a little bit, you know, a little bit tentacly, but but not full on, you know, like 40k Death Guard. So I want to do a squad of those. I've got a command squad to do. I've got another veteran tactical squad to do, and we're going to do sniper vets. We're going to do marksmen for those ones. Again, you know, it's spam and cheese within spam and cheese, isn't it? But you know, I want to get some nice upgrade bits for that and have the sniper vets with some aftermarket snipery type looking guns and some sweet close combat weapons, you know, without hands attached to them, so I can kind of strap them to their backs and stuff. That's the plan for those. And I've got the big guy himself, the big M, Mortarian. He will get painted up. I've got him, so when I do come to paint him, I'll do a bit of an unboxing, because there hasn't been an unboxing of Mortarian for years because he's so old. So I'll do an unboxing of Mortarian and just do a bit of a build log and a paint log and sort of show you what he looks like. And then last but not least, I shall I think we've got enough space here just to put the next thing I'm painting at the moment, and I'll just give you a sneak peek. It's the Fellblade. So we're doing Legion Fellblade. So that'll be my first Lord of War that's finished, and with Mortarian being the second. So that's coming on really nicely. As again, I mean, next to the current tankage. Needs to be weathered, needs to be chipped. I'm working on the chipping at the moment, so I'm doing some rust effects all over it. So you'll see here that I've done some sort of rust around the rim here. I started off on the bottom, but I need to weather it. Sort of worked on the back a bit. But yeah, so that's just slow going really, because it's such a big tank. But that'll be the next thing I finish. So that'll be 580 more points added to the force. So that'll bring it well up over to 7,500 points all in. So yeah, so getting on for 10. Let me know what you think. You know, it's been really nice getting everything out of the cabinet and showing you what it looks like and my plans for it. So yeah. So this is it. This is the force. The traitorous 14th Legion. And yeah, really, really happy with it. Really happy with the cohesiveness, the weathering. You know, just still learning how they kind of work from a gaming perspective. Haven't really used any Rites of Wars yet, so need to kind of sort that out and get a bit more au fait, really, I suppose, with them practically being used as a effective force. So yeah, had some good moments yesterday. Had some, you know, so that was nice to see. So you can sort of see what they can do. Yeah, so that's it. So that's my Death Guard Legion showcase. Hope you enjoyed it. It's a bit of a long video, very long video for me. It's like half an hour. So that's a very, very long video for me. So hopefully you've had this on in the background, just having a bit of a watch, a bit of a look, and let me know what you think. So that's it for this one, guys. Thank you for watching. Congratulations if you made it to the end. If you did, I'd be really interested to know. And tell me your favourite fruit if you got to the end of this video. And just out of interest, if people got to the end, favourite fruit. Mine is, I like a pink lady apple, and very nice. Anyway, so let me know your favourite fruit if you got to the end of the video, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers, guys.